Painting has experienced something of a renaissance in the art world recently. It has been fueled in part by the distinctive talent of a new generation of young painters. Their styles vary widely, with influences ranging from abstract expressionism to photorealism. What's happening? Is there a movement? Is there a trend? Or is it simply that at the end of this decade, there's just more focus on painting? Take a shot at that.
Perhaps not just the end of the decade, but it's corny, but the end of the century.
Yeah.
I think that may be something to do with it. I don't think, there isn't a movement, I don't think. There's a hell of a lot of painting going on. I think more than there has been for quite a long time. But that it's something that sort of happened quite naturally. And I didn't really see it coming, but just became aware over the last year and a half that more and more shows that I was seeing in New York, it was becoming far more common to walk in and see paintings in an
Balenciaga's up next. Tell you all about it in 60 seconds. Like many houses of late, Balenciaga presented both its menswear and womenswear together. They walked around a giant towering central mountain of colorful graffiti, which held quite a few clues about this collection. Firstly, there were the colors of the tags. Day glow and fluo has become the color trend of the season, and Balenciaga has it in spades, worth everything from second skin menswear turtlenecks to wrap dresses, leggings, and pleated skirts for the ladies. Then there was a number that was scrawled into the side of the mountain. It was repeated on the front of a handful of menswear shirts, and if you called the number, you got connected to the Balenciaga hotline, where, if you're like me, you were asked a series of personal questions. And finally, the actually imposing size of the mountain was echoed in the impressive, voluminous outerwear that closed out the Balenciaga show. And with each passing look, became more and more exaggerated, to the point that it was hard not to think of that famous scene in Friends when Joey wears every single stitch of clothing he owns. Or perhaps it was a comment on the nomadic life of so many displaced people living in the world today. After all, the show did include logo tops to support the World Food Program.
All of the paintings that you recently had an exhibit at Mary Boone were sold before the exhibit started.
Yes.
Same thing's happened to you. Same thing has happened to you. I mean, there is a great interest on the terms of buyers because they're looking for something new. They're looking for freshness, and there's a sense of painting being.
Well, from my understanding, the 80s art market, which got a lot of attention from the records and price sales that they had at auction and stuff, created a lot of general interest in the general public and put a lot of focus on the art world and the art market. We were very young at the time that boom was going on, and it created a lot of famous artists, and those famous artists created a lot of work which wasn't a lot of painting. There wasn't a lot of painting in it, and I think there was towards the end of it, there was also a bust in the market.
People just said it's gotten out of hand and we're paying too much for work that's not that good.
And I think it stigmatized some people towards some of the conceptual work, and so it's obvious the stock market and the money that's in the art world right now is at the same or higher levels, but people's skepticism in art and being sold a bill of goods is much higher. Painting is something that you can see at the Met, that you can see at the National Gallery, that you can see having been around for a long, long time. It's easy for people who don't have to be told that they need to appreciate it to see the worth in it. And so I think that it's generally people are more accepting of things like painting and sculpture and photography right now.
Did you once, when you decided to become a painter, go and study